Hi everyone, Happy New Year. I'm Dr. Leah McAlister-Shields, and I'll be teaching CUIN 8381, Research Methods 2, Qualitative and Quantitative Research Approaches. I am so glad that you all will be in my class this semester. I know it's been a bit of a short break, at least it has been for me, but I've enjoyed my break, and I hope you all have too. As a matter of fact, I recently returned from a wedding in Jamaica, so sad face on that one, to return back to the cold weather, but I am glad to start the semester off. So I do want to review the course syllabus. And so this is going to be a video for the course syllabus, and then I will talk a little bit more about some of the online resources that will be made available for the course a little bit later on. So this course will provide an opportunity for learners to establish or advance their understanding of research through critical exploration of research language and approaches. The course examines the language of research and the elements of the research process and data analysis within quantitative, qualitative, and mixed methods approaches. Participants will use these theoretical underpinnings to critically review literature relevant to their field or interests and determine how research findings are useful in informing their understanding of their work, social, local, and global environment. Specifically, as doctoral students, you will be able to explain phenomenon via the use of qualitative and quantitative research approaches, identify different data types and their connection to research design, explore a variety of qualitative and quantitative data analysis techniques through which educational problems may be examined, apply specific data analysis procedures using in vivo, QD, Miner, SPSS, Excel, or other software resources, and qualitative and statistical methods in different settings. Communicate findings to various audiences. The required text for this class is your handy-dandy APA publication manual. Okay, if you haven't already purchased that, it is a must for this course. It's the 6th edition APA manual. You will be using it heavily for this class, and as you know, APA is going to be a huge, it's going to be hugely important to your writing in terms of how you format your writing. All writing in this course should use APA format. Okay, whether if you are writing a paper, or you are writing a reflection, or if you're writing a discussion board posting, in terms of when you cite resources and list references, you need to use APA format. Okay. The next text for this class will be Criswell and Poth 2017, Qualitative Inquiry and Research Design, Choosing Among 5 Approaches. It's the 4th edition. It's a great text which goes over the 5 major qualitative approaches. And being that both Dr. White and Dr. Hutchison will serve as your dissertation chairs, depending on if you're social ed or if you are literacy. Both of them are qualitatively focused in terms of their research approach and their area of specialty. Many of the students who come through the EDD program, our program in particular, complete qualitative dissertations. And so this is a great text to use that will help you learn more about the various qualitative approaches, but also provide you with great detail about how to conduct each of those. And also help you to make some decisions about what approach works best for your type of research or the type of research study that you're interested in conducting. Lastly, I'm going to ask you all to purchase a statistics book called Discovering Statistics Using IBM SPS Statistics by Andy Field. And so this is a cornerstone statistics book. You may have already utilized the book in your previous graduate coursework, but it is a seminal text for statistics. And as I mentioned, we're going to focus a lot on qualitative research, probably more heavily on qualitative research. being that the majority of students in our program focus on qualitative research, then we will the quantitative. However, the Andy Field book is a seminal text, and we will review all of the statistics that students typically will use. We're not going to go into the more advanced structural equation modeling or factor analysis types of statistical analysis, because those are the types of analysis that we don't typically use, and that most doctoral students really don't use. So we're going to focus on the types of approaches that students do use. And there will also be additional readings that will be provided via Blackboard as well. Okay. So in terms of the cost of these books, I must say that the Andy Field book is somewhat expensive because it is a stats book, and the Chris Walpoth's book is also costly as well. But do your very best to see if you can find it, to see if you can find the text on eBay or on Amazon. You can also check to see if you can talk to other doctoral students who have completed the program, who may also have these textbooks, and see if you can borrow them. I will definitely say that the qualitative text you all will probably use somewhat heavily as you move forward in the program. There's also an additional text that I have that's also required, and it's called How to Use SPSS, a Step-by-Step Guide to Analysis and Interpretation, 9th edition. And this is the book by Cronk. And so this is also a required text. It is a fantastic text on how to conduct analyses using SPSS. So I did forget to cover that, but that's the 4th book. So in terms of assignments and grading policies, the final grade is going to be based on your performance, your attitudes and your abilities related to the goals and objectives of the course. And so there's a grading scale that is on that's listed here in the syllabus. Please review that. Also, please review the more detailed explanation of what constitutes as an A, a B, a C, as well as an F in the course. Okay. So on page 3, there is a listing of assignments and due dates as well as points. And so in this course, we're going to have 5 quantitative and qualitative analysis assessments. Basically, they are quizzes that will cover your knowledge based on the readings. And so those will begin in February and in April, so they will be staggered throughout the course. Okay, so please be sure to review the readings because the quizzes will focus on what you've read. Also, there will be article critiques and annotations that will be due on March the 3rd. There will be 3 of those, 25 points each, and they're all due by the 3rd. So you can, I will open that up. I will open up the assignment, and you can submit them as you see fit. But they're all due by March the 3rd. Okay, all 3. There will be a weekly discussion board. There will be 10 of those, and that will be from the month of February through April. Those will happen in your individual learning communities. If you've had me for a course before, you know this is how I typically construct the discussion boards, and that they happen via your learning communities. It just seems that that by doing it that way, everyone is heard. And everyone has the ability to not only add to the discussion, but then you have your small group there, and you're able to have a more meaningful discussion versus having a thread of 20 responses. There are 28 students in this course, and so I feel that learning communities just really help with you all being able to connect with one another and build a sense of community while learning the material. Next, there are team quantitative and there's a team quantitative or qualitative research paper, and so you will do this with your learning community. You will select a topic. and you will conduct either quantitative or qualitative um, research, and you will write this up. And so the details are provided in the course syllabus, and I'll go over that in just a few minutes. And that's due at the end of the semester, May 5th. And then also the team quantitative, there's also a team quantitative or qualitative poster presentation, which is also May 5th. And so the poster presentation will happen in person on May 5th. We'll be at U of H for a couple of hours where you all can come together and share your posters. And we can have a poster presentation where you all can share your information and walk around and talk to each other about your research. I do want to go back to the weekly discussion boards. They will be interactive like they were last semester. So there will be a schedule with a rotation in terms of who will present a video each week. And then, of course, the other members will respond to that video as the initial posting, okay? As the initial posting for the week. And then they will also post their own initial postings, okay? But they will be written. And then you will respond to at least 2 other members of your group, okay? So I'll go over that also in a moment. So total points for this course is 400 points. And so, as in past semesters, I cannot emphasize enough the importance of the weekly discussion boards. If anything, what makes a difference between an A or a B, or a B and a C, is the discussion board. Okay, I know it's difficult. I know that y'all are working full time, that you have families, but the discussion board is where the learning takes place, is where you make those connections. And so it's hugely important that you find a way to not only post your own initial posting, whether if it's video or written, that you also respond to your colleagues, okay? And that you have to do the 2 responses to your colleagues, and it has to be a minimum of 250 words. I do a word count, okay? I do a word count. So please, 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 I cannot ask you enough to participate in the discussion board. It definitely makes a difference in terms of what grade students receive in the course. Okay, so in terms of assignment due dates, they're listed on the syllabus. Unless there's an extenuating circumstance, the assignments are due when they're due. Okay. There may be, something that comes up. Just let me know. Contact me, okay, and let me know that something's happening, or that something has occurred that's preventing you from submitting your assignment on time. Communication is very important and key. Just let me know. There are no extra credit assignments for this course. So please be sure that you do submit your work on time, okay? Also, the criteria for evaluating written assignments. So APA is the main way that I will assess written assignments. And so I know that you all are very knowledgeable about APA. I know you have the manual, so please refer to your manual, okay? Especially when it comes to the mechanics of style. And then, of course, substance and insight is very important. That's where you all make connections with the material. So I want to look at the substance of what you've written, what insights you're providing, what connections you're making to the material. As I mentioned, there are going to be quantitative and qualitative analysis assessments. There are going to be 5 of them, 15 points each, and they will begin in the month of February and end in April. Also, the article critiques and annotations, There's an area in the syllabus that's listed here. There will be 3 of those at 25 points each for a total of 75 points. There are examples of good critiques that will be placed on Blackboard, as well as some information on how to conduct an annotation. Also, that will also be placed on Blackboard. So for the article critique and annotation, there are 4 areas, and 5 points will be assigned to each area, with the exception of the overall quality critique, which will be 10 points. Okay, so make sure that you do review the course syllabus. There's a lot of detail there for each of the assignments, for all the assignments that will be due for this course in the course syllabus. Okay, interactive discussion board and weekly readings, which will cover weekly readings and reflections. Okay, so there'll be 5. There'll be 10. There'll be 10 discussion boards at 5 points each. And so you will be divided into smaller learning communities. A weekly discussion board prompt will be posted to the discussion board that's designated for your learning community. Each week, one member of your learning community will upload a video to YouTube, okay, in response to the discussion board prompt. That's their initial response to the discussion board prompt, okay. 5 minutes maximum video. I know it's difficult for some to get it done in 5 minutes, but but 5 minutes allows your group members to be able to listen to your video and watch your video. More than 5 minutes, it becomes lengthy and a little bit difficult to get through. So do your very best to keep it at 5 minutes, okay? And again, this will be to the discussion board prompt. So this will be so whoever posts the video, this is their initial response. Okay, that needs to be posted by Wednesday. Okay, at midnight, everyone must, and everyone else who did not post the video must post their own initial response, but a written one. Okay, to the discussion board prompt. Outside of that, you have to post at least 2 follow-up responses, okay, of a minimum of 250 words each by Saturday at midnight, okay? So, and when I say at midnight, really I'm meaning 11:59 p.m., okay? So you all know that it's 11:59 p.m. That will be the time that's set for the assignment to be submitted. What happens typically is that once that time passes, then the discussion board goes away, okay, and you're not able to post. The same thing with assignments. Once that time comes, in terms of the due date and the time that it's due, it goes away. So make sure that you submit it on time, and then that way you'll have access to it, okay? So there's some information here that you can look at about how to respond to your colleagues' postings, which should help you to expand them to meet the minimum 250 word requirement. So please review that information. Okay. The team qualitative or quantitative research paper. So that's 150 point total. And so as a part of the research courses are heavy on writing in terms of focusing on writing, because these courses are focused on helping you develop and expand your knowledge in terms of research, and then to apply that knowledge to your own dissertation. And so many students will not only use this information for dissertation purposes, but also for journal purposes. And so that's why we focus on APA, because APA is most often used in terms of educational journals. And so to this end, you're going to write in your learning communities as a group, you're going to write a research paper. And this paper will provide your team with the experience in writing a submission-ready journal article, okay? Your group will create a 15-20 page paper which describes the methods you use and the findings that you observe when investigating your policy problem. The goal is to hypothesize the relationship between variables which may exist within a data set constructed by your team and statistically test whether the relationship is likely to exist in reality. If you're conducting a quantitative study, your team will use SPSS to statistically test the relationship that you've identified. And if you're conducting a qualitative study, you will use in vivo or QDA minor to analyze the qualitative data and present the results in the style of an academic journal article. Now, in terms of qualitative research, there's no hypothesis, okay? Hypothesis only happens with quantitative research. So with qualitative research, you may examine a phenomena or you may observe a phenomena, and then you want to explore more in terms of that topic, or you may want to describe it. And so a lot of the verbiage that I just used is very quantitative in nature. But with a qualitative study, there's no hypothesis testing. You're not developing hypothesis. However, you will have a research question, okay, about the phenomena that you would like to observe. And then from there, you will begin to collect data, okay? And this is where the Creswell text will come in to help you with making decisions about what type of qualitative research approach to utilize. There are a number of various software that you can use to analyze your data, both for quantitative and qualitative. And so the Site Lab, which is the IT department for the college, has various licenses to various types of software. So please be sure to check with Site Lab about whether or not we have in vivo or SPSS, which I believe we do. And if you're looking to use any other type of software, let me know, and we can see about and we can see whether or not Site Lab can purchase that software or that license, or if there's a free version out there on the internet that you can utilize. Okay, so the paper should contain all the elements of a peer-reviewed, empirically based journal article. And empirical is not only quantitative, it's also qualitative. So that is both a quantitative and a qualitative term. So there's going to be the introduction, okay? There's going to be a review of the literature. There will be a discussion of the conceptual framework. You will also outline your research design, of course, the findings section, and then the discussion, okay? So there may be an IRB process that you will have to conduct. I'm going to talk with the IRB office about whether or not you will have to submit an IRB application. In the past, I've just had to do it on behalf of the course and just say that this is work that you all are doing for the course. But if you're actually going to submit the paper to a journal, then you would have to go through full IRB review. And so up front, I'll probably have a discussion with each group to see if that's what you intend. And if it is, then we will have to work with the IRB office to see if we can get your IRB submitted and approved so that you can submit the paper to a journal. Okay. So let's see here. Okay, so then the poster presentation. So that will happen at the end of the semester. And so there's information here about how to create a poster. Okay, the poster content is listed here in terms of what should be included on the poster. So statement of research questions, summary of relevant research and theoretical framework, research methods, findings, significance of research, and then in terms of the poster mechanics, is it visually clear? Okay, can you read all the text? And then also is the data presented in a way that's visual and clear for the viewer. Okay. Okay. So there's information here on course expectations and student conduct. Please be sure to review that. Academic honesty in particular. There's also extensive information here about plagiarism. and what it is. Okay, please be sure to read that. And just to refresh your knowledge about the definitions of plagiarism and what constitutes plagiarism. Information here about key strategies for a good grade in the course. Basically, don't let the reading pile up on you. Don't procrastinate. Respond to your the discussion board prompt in a timely manner. If there are issues with submitting assignments, let me know. Okay, let's see here. All right, and then there is a tentative course schedule. So you know I'm all about the course schedule and the calendar to outline what's required for the course and what's happening from week to week. It not only keeps me organized, but I know it helps to keep you all organized. And so I want to go over this a bit. So since we're going to talk about qualitative and quantitative, what I've done is that we're going to start with the qualitative topics first. And then there's going to be a bit of a transition where you're going to talk about where you're going to be reading about qualitative and quantitative. Okay, that happens about week 7 or 8. And then you transition and then you transition out of qualitative and into quantitative. So it goes qualitative, and quantitative, and then into quantitative. Okay. And so most weeks there's going to be either a PowerPoint presentation or a video. For the qualitative, there's a PowerPoint presentation or presentations depending on if you're reading more than one chapter. There may be additional readings. And then I may post some videos as well in terms of the qualitative research chapters and readings. So for the weeks of qualitative, I may also post a video with regards to some of the readings for the course. Your discussion board topics are also listed in the course syllabus as well. So, so if you're having difficulty locating that information, it's in the syllabus. It will be posted in the discussion board though. Okay. So for the first week, for the first week, the discussion board it's an introductory discussion board where you're posting information about yourselves. You can feel free to get creative with it. I actually want everyone to post a video for the first week. So I want everyone to post a video for the first for the first week's discussion board. Just that way you get to see who's in your group. You can put a name to a face. So I want you all to do that for the first week, and then every week thereafter, the discussion board will have there will be a schedule in terms of who's going to post a video. Okay, and so the topics are listed within each week. There are a total of 10 discussion boards, so that means that not every week there will be a discussion board. Just want to make sure I remind you all of that. Week of spring break, I have nothing listed there. So there are no assignments, there's no discussion board, nothing the week of spring break. Of course, you all can work on your papers that week. Okay. And the week of the 16th, I will be attending a conference, AERA, that week. So I will be have limited access to the internet. And there's a lot going on that week. So just be sure to try to get ahead of what your assignments are in terms of the workload for that week. And then after that, we're tapering off. So there's week 15 where I'm going to post some examples of qualitative dissertation information and quantitative dissertation, so that way you get an idea and a sense of what those look like. Also that week is designated for virtual meetings and in-person meetings. If you have any questions about the paper, any questions about the course, then you will be able to Skype me or meet with me in person. Of course, in terms of the office hours, you all can Skype me at any point in time. Okay, if you have questions, it's best to send me an email and we actually schedule it. That way, I make sure that I'm available. That way, I make sure I make myself available to you. And then the last couple of weeks, you're going to be working on your papers and your posters. There's also a reflective journal that you will submit by the end of the semester. So the reflective journal, which I forgot to put in the syllabus in terms of the points, it's going to be an additional 50 points. So the total points for the course will be 450. I will revise the course syllabus and I will put that on, and then I will upload that to Blackboard. Okay, so I will take down the existing one and upload the new one. Okay. Alrighty. And then there's more information here about technical requirements for the course. If you have questions and if you need technical assistance, the information is listed here as well. And then any other on-campus student services information is also listed. As I said, I am excited to be teaching this course this semester. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I'll do my very best to respond to your emails within 24 to 48 hours. I will be, and I know that we're going to have the face-to-face meetings. I think when we met, we talked, we being myself and Dr. Hutchinson and Dr. White, that we discussed probably 3 meetings. So I'll be at each of those meetings. I'll be glad to see you all in person. And so, again, if you have any questions, let me know. Okay. Please be sure to review the course syllabus. I will make sure to revise the syllabus and post the new one soon. Okay. All right. Have a good week. Stay warm. Stay out of the elements, and stay safe. All righty. Bye-bye.